So Digby, tell me about the church. How you come to become a member of the church?
Um, I was investigating several churches, and I can only tell you that I can't explain why, but I used to go down in the summertime to the churches that had their windows open and sit by the window and listen to the music and the preaching, and I was drawn like a pin to a magnet. I never could explain it, but I was joined the Canadian Air Force, and there was a crew chief there. He said, "I understand you're looking for a church." And I said, "Well, I'm not sure I'm looking for a church. I've been to several, but I feel a need to be there." He said, "You just haven't gone to the right church yet, Digby." And he invited me to come to the Mormon church, as he called it at the time. And I came there, and I only had to be told once. I knew with all my heart that it was it.
What has the church meant to you in your life?
Well, it's been my guide, my direction, and my love.
What would you be without it?
Not much. The best way to say it is that when something is so true to you, and you realize it, and then you say, "Well, here's your opportunity, Digby. God does play favorites, and He's invited you home." So, I came home.
Your turn, Bob.
I think, as I think about the way we raised our kids, I think, a lot of things in life, you feel you have to make a decision. Do I do this? Do I do this? Is this right? Is this wrong? But for the kids, all these decisions were pre-made. They didn't have to think, should I do this? Should I do that? They just knew that Heavenly Father has guidelines for the way we live. And so their decisions were made ahead of time. If someone were to say, "Do you want to smoke this cigarette?" they didn't have to think about it. They already knew the answer before it was ever asked. So I think the church provides a way that we can live life more freely, in the sense that you don't have to stumble over hard decisions or uncomfortable ones. You already know the answer first. And it's made our kids who they are. I'm sure of it. We never said, "Okay, get up, you have to come to church." It was just, this is what we do. So we didn't have any rebellion or anything like that.
I found out you have to have a sense of humor. We had a real estate office. A guy came in one day, and he looked at us and said, "You Mormons are all nothing but a bunch of hypocrites." And I looked at him rather startled. I said, "I have a little Irish in me," so I said, "Why don't you come and join us? We got room for one more." And he looked at me for a minute, and then he started laughing. He said, "I asked for that." And I said, "Yeah." I said, "What got you so heated?" And he explained, and we talked it through, and became a good friend.
What do you think heaven's going to be like, Digby?
Well, if it's just a fifth of what they say, I'd be so happy. That to find yourself in a situation where all men and women are brothers and sisters can't be anything but wonderful. And that the Lord's plan to bring us all together is as good as you can get. And I would invite anybody that feels a little left out to come and be with us and join the whole family of a ward, or of the stake, as we call it.
Advice for your great-great-grandchildren, yet unborn, perhaps. Give them some life lessons that you've learned that you'd like them to know.
I think I can answer that. I would tell them, first thing is stop and think. That's a hard thing to do. And when you stop and think, don't get caught up in yourself. The world is full of people that are wonderful, and just just because you have the answers doesn't mean the people around you do. You want to be so respectful, and you can teach the gospel by living it more than you can teach it by talking about it. And I have found out over the years that if you just listen, step back a bit and listen, you get a lot of things out of life.
And I think every child should watch that little cartoon Bambi, because there's somebody in it that looks at Bambi and says, another little animal says, if you can't say something nice, don't say nothing at all. Well, if everybody in this world followed that little guideline, we would just have a wonderful, wonderful world. Can't go wrong with that one.
Digby, look your bride in the eyes and tell her you love her, and why.
Oh, she knows it.
Tell her.
I love you.
I love you too.
I love you more.
I love you most.
Another kiss would be appropriate here. Get that on tape. Anything else I might have left out you'd like to talk about?
Well, Bishop, you and I have had a good relationship, and that's one of the benefits. That people I would not normally associated with were in the church from all walks of life, and I got to have them for friends. And I remember thinking one time, how did I get so lucky? You know, your family, you've always impressed me because of your intelligent way of looking at things. And I used to come home and tell Bonnie, I said, you know, that bishop doesn't even use a pad, he's all in his head. And I admired that. See, I didn't look for things that were wrong, I always looked for things that were right, and you had so many of them.
Thank you so much.